What's up, boys? I want to do a quick little video. Essentially, I want to go over a lot of my favorite knife picks. Folding, fixed blade, auto, out the side, and kind of a little state of the collection style video. So I'm going to kick it off with just the easiest stuff first. I did cover this in my cheap knives video. This is the QSP Penguin. These are like 35 bucks. This is a D2 steel, deep carry, pocket clip, green micarta handle. It's a great workhorse, like cheap beater knife. I've given a bunch of them away as gifts to people. They're awesome. Another one that I covered in the cheap knives was this. This is the Boker Kalashnikov. This is an Aus-8 steel, a gray Zytel plastic handle, also has a deep pocket carry clip. This is an out the side auto. These are about $50. Again, this is a solid performer for its price point. You know, if autos or out the sides aren't legal in your state, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have a bunch of those in this video, and if you don't like that, you can go to a different video. So I've got a couple little baby auto knives as well. This is the Kershaw Launch 4. Little Cali legal. I believe this is CPM. Yeah, so this is CPM 154. I'm not sure if they still make these or not, but this is a great little California compliant auto, out the side auto. And this is the Boker USB. This is a limited run that they did in gray. I got a couple of these. They were like 80 bucks. This is also a California compliant double action auto. This is a D2 steel. So both are great, cheap little OTF slash out the side auto options. This is my Benchmade, I think 551 or 556. It's the mini Griptillian. This is the old D2 variant. This was one of the very first nice folding knives that I ever had. It's got the axis lock, D2 steel, and I put a mirror edge on it, the KME. This is great. At the time when I bought this, these were about $60. I think Benchmade just recently discontinued the mini Griptillian, which is a super, or at least the base model, which is a super sad thing. I really think that the mini Griptillian might go down as maybe one of the top 5 at least, but really the top 10 best pocket knives, folding pocket knives of all time. So my first my first Benchmade knife. And from here, it's going to rapidly start kind of ramping up pretty quickly. So this might look like just a standard Spyderco Delica, just a gray FRN handle. However, this is a Bento box exclusive that I basically put different scales on it. So this is an M390 Spyderco Delica. This is what they look like in their original colorway. It's kind of a nice purple blue color. So I really like M390. I know people were complaining that Spyderco has a lower Rockwell hardness for their M390, but honestly, it's one of my primary like work slash beater knives, and I've never had an issue with it. I use a sharp maker or a KME and do a couple passes with it, and it springs back to razor sharp. Like this thing, I don't know, I've tore down entire buildings doing demo with this knife and never had any issues. So, and this was one of my knives that was in that video, the 550 video as well, but it was a stand-in. So this is the Spyderco Para 3 lightweight, and this is in Rex 45. It's got a black DLC coated blade. This was an exclusive that I got. I got it right when Rittenhouse was acquitted. I don't remember who was selling it. I'm rolling a picture of the website right now, but I've had this knife for 2 years. I've used it on a bunch of job sites. It was my primary work knife for a very long time. I've sharpened it, like seriously sharpened it, and not just running it on a ceramic stone in the sharp maker one time, but just hitting it boop 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 like that on the sharp maker. It springs back to life so fucking fast. So great option, extremely lightweight. I kind of really dig the white. It does kind of really say hello, and the black DLC coating. I really wish Spyderco would do this on a lot more of their knives. I think it's one of the better blade coatings. So, and I'm sorry if you watched that other video and then immediately this, you're probably seeing a lot of duplicates, but I promise this might be one of the last ones. This is the Lightning OTF. In the video I said it was a 1095 steel. I meant 440C. That was my fuck up. This is a $35 OTF with a clip point. I've also got a black one with just a standard drop point. I keep that in my vehicle just to have something in my vehicle. It's very rare, but sometimes I'll leave the house and forget to grab a knife or rush out. You know, I'm late for something or gotta run to work and I forget to grab a knife. I always keep this and a Spyderco Shaman, which I'm rolling a picture of, in the glove box. So I've done a couple vehicle like setup videos, but I haven't addressed anything in the main cabin of my vehicle yet. I'll probably get to that at some point, but pound for pound might be one of the best OTF knives. They come screaming sharp out of the box, and again, they're like $30 to $40. I know the Pro models have upgraded steel. I'm not sure if they use D2, but even just the action, I've got really expensive knives in this case. The action on this, it's great. If you're just looking for a fidgety play knife that you can beat the shit out of, you pretty much can't go wrong with the Lightning OTF. So they got a bunch of cool colors too. So only thing I'm not a huge fan of is this pocket clip, and these lines don't really meet up very well on me, but it is what it is. So I want to say in like 2014 or 15, I can't remember, I picked this up. It was one of my first expensive like multi-tools. I've had rebars, I've had Skeletools, I've got a whack ton of Leatherman Waves, and I got a Surge, but this was one of my kind of like first time spending more than, I think these were almost $100. So I got one of these. So this is the Emerson Knives EDC2, and as you can see, it's essentially just an Emerson made, Emerson and I believe Multitasker made this together. Multitasker makes awesome shit, complete sidebar, but they make awesome stuff. As you can see, there's a Emerson Wave hook on this. It's also got a locking 2-position flathead, a locking 2-position 3D Phillips. I think it's equivalent to a number 2, and there's just a little button on the lock back that you just drop them with, and an extremely fine awl. And this used to be kind of like my go-to range bag item. Then they stopped making them, and I was afraid that I was going to destroy it or lose it, so now it just sits in my Pelican vault knife case that I got. So I'll roll a picture of that as well. And because clearly I don't understand the definition of knife, and I just showed you technically a multi-tool, I'm going to show you one more. This is my two-tone special edition Leatherman Wave. If you've seen a Leatherman Wave, you've seen all of them. They did a couple runs of these. I always wanted one of the Surges, but I didn't pick one up, and now I regret it. Yeah, just a two-tone black and silver Leatherman Wave. I've shown them before. So this is one of the first mods that I ever did to a knife. The scales, these are Allen Putman custom whatever wave scales for the Benchmade mini Griptillian. So I got this one. It's a S30V blade with the Spidey hole. I think realistically, if the mini grip or the Griptillian are in the top 10, this is in the top 5 of some of the coolest knives on the planet, especially in this configuration with the Lynch Northwest deep pocket clip and the custom Putman scales. With the Spidey hole, this thing it's crazy. Like, it's kind of a Warncliffe style blade profile. Upgraded steel from the D2 and the CPM 154 that used to be on it. These scales used to be on that black one that I showed with the mirror blade or mirror edge, but once I got this, I decided to make this the custom piece. So this is another one of the Kershaw Launch 4s in a gray laser faux Damascus steel. Yeah, the Launch 4, I don't know what blade steel it is, but they say Damascus. I don't believe it, but it is what it is. So before the Jade Spyderco's came out, the Blade HQ Jade ones. I kind of made my own. I used those Allen Putman scales, and there's just a standard Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and S30V. This was one of my first nice knives. Back when I purchased these, they were not that expensive. Now it's very difficult to even purchase a base model PM2 just because of inflation and the price increasing every year. If you didn't know, Spyderco and Benchmade do a yearly, it's essentially like an inflation to all of their prices for their knives. It's a little ridiculous, but the Paramilitary 2 is personally, because I have giant hands, arguably one of my favorite knives I've ever used. It perfectly locks into my hand. I can get away carrying it. It's kind of the Glock 17 of the knife world for me. Does everything well enough for my needs. It's not perfect, it's not the nicest, it doesn't have the best steel, but there are a shit ton of aftermarket mods available for this. And I'm gonna go over pretty much my PM2 collection now. So I got another one that was a friend's used. The scales were destroyed, but the blade was pristine. So I put the gray Putman scales and a black liner on it, as well as a black Lynch Northwest deep pocket carry clip. This is the MAXAMET steel option. This gray is probably my favorite of all the colorways of any knife that I have, and MAXAMET's a crazy fucking steel. I've also got a Lynch Northwest on this. This is a M390 variant with a black blade. It was an exclusive. I can't remember if it was Bento box or, yeah, I think it was Bento box. They're exclusive. So this was a DLT trading exclusive, 20 CV PM2. I really like that tan color. And another M390 red blade with satin Lynch Northwest deep pocket carry clip, and begins the M4 Jades. So this is a Blade HQ exclusive M4 Jade. I also put a liner and a deep pocket carry clip on there. Yeah, I got two of them. This one's stock. Another M4 Jade, but this is their Tanto model. This is the M4 Manix 2. You can tell I really like this colorway. I wanted to have the entire collection, but they got kind of ridiculous with the aftermarket shilling. About 75% of these I got on launch day, but the second standard leaf blade PM2 I paid kind of through the nose on eBay for before I ended up getting the original one, so it is what it is. The pair of 3 in M4 Jade, deep pocket carry clip, and the native 5. There's something about this colorway. I understand it's just uncolorized or no additives added G10, just natural G10. But something about this like ghost green color, it's like it's very similar to my obsession with M81 Woodland or OD Green or, you know, Wolf Gray. But there's something about this that kind of hits all the right spots for a colorway for me. So that's pretty much it for primarily folding knives and the rest of my Spyderco collection. If you're a knife guy, you probably know how it is. If you have a lot of knives, rather, sometimes you can't find something, or you're looking for that one knife, you don't know where you put it. Did I put it in a bag somewhere? Is that at a friend's house? Like, did I leave that at the job site? Like, where the hell? No, that's just me. Nobody else? That doesn't happen to anybody else? Okay, cool. Gaslight more, right? Gaslighting is not real, you fucking made it up. I do have a couple fixed blades. I showed the Mora, I'm not going to show it again because I have to dig it out, but this is the Spyderco Bow River fixed blade. It's a great little like fishing or camp knife. Doesn't have the best steel, but it was cheap. I've also got 2 of these SE4s. This one lives on my war belt, battle belt, range belt, whatever. Another one in like this peanut butter and gray color with I also put a mirror edge on this like a jackass. 1095 steel. I really like Randall's or ESEE knives because they have a crazy, like literally no questions asked. I could take this, put it in a vise, snap it in half, email them, and they would be like, oh yeah, send it back, we'll send you a new one. So I really like ESEE knives. They're one of the best like sub $100 fixed blades you can buy strictly because of the warranty. Like, what are you gonna do? Break it? Okay, they'll just send you a new one. So the laser strike is one of my favorite knives ever. So all right, I'm gonna go over a couple of my Microtech, my autos, and my favorite knife, and then I'll let you find people get on with the rest of your Friday. So, the fuck is it? This is my gray Microtech UTX 85. This is a Carpenter 204P blade, satin blade. I don't know if you can actually see the wear on this guy, but gotten some pretty gnarly wear over the years. This didn't come pre-distressed, it ended up like this, so. I'm not a huge fan of the UTX 85 platform, but I really like the steel. I saw this on sale on my birthday and I couldn't resist it. I've had it for a couple of years. You might have seen the date on it, but great knife. Again, another one of my birthday purchases. This is a distressed black Microtech Ultratech in M390. This one did come pre-distressed. I'm a huge fan of this Boba Fett pre-damaged colorways. This is another Ultratech two-tone black blade M390. This is one of the custom Hellhounds. I think this is also an M390 blade steel. I know, I get it. This is probably my favorite knife of all time. It's a distressed gray Microtech Troodon in ELMAX steel? Yeah, ELMAX steel. Single edge. I've got two of these. Fucking awesome. I carry one of these every single day where it's legal. And my primary EDC knife, and pretty much the only knife that I've purchased. Most of these are really old. Pretty much the only folding blade that I've purchased in the last like 18, 19, 20... So almost 7 years. In October, it'll be 7 years. The Rick Hinderer XM18, 3-inch. I'm gonna do a dedicated video about a lot of these knives, but you've probably seen this in my EDC video. So this is a working finish, titanium backplate, G10 handle, 20 CV blade, one of the Trinity steels. It's got a flipper. The only thing I regret is not getting the deep pocket carry clip when I had the chance. It was between this and the Umnumzon. This has a 20 CV steel, like I said. The only reason I don't have the Umnumzon is this came with a better steel. I like the Umnumzon, the size of it a little bit better. I also like the Chris Reeves knives, but the price really doesn't meet the performance. I'm aware they have custom blade steels and stuff that are starting to come out, but for the price point, this knife really just made a lot more sense. I like the 3.5-inch models as well and the bigger ones, but this, for just an EDC daily carry, daily use knife, you pretty much can't beat this. The way, even I have large hands and I've said that, the way that this locks in, you really could get some fucking work done with this knife if necessary. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire collection. Again, I am going to pump out a couple of individual videos on some of these knives. If you've got specific ones that you guys want to see more or hear more about, there's a story connected to all of these knives. I've loved knives for a really, really long time. Not before I got into guns, kind of at the same time, but knives were my first love, really. Knives and flashlights and guns, man, like, there's something about the utilitarian nature of things that is just, you know, maybe I have autism or you know, Asperger's or something, but I really, really dig tools like this, and I like the intricacies and like the weird high-end super cool tools and the way that we maximize removing deficiencies from things by making steels better, making better locking mechanisms, adding features. So I don't really have any cute thing to say at the end of this video. Just keep your knives sharp, fucking oil them, sharpen them, maintain them. I'll probably do a video on knife maintenance and sharpening at some point as well. Keep your knives nice, take care of your things. Yes, I'm aware some of these knives are expensive, but everybody's got their, you know, their hobby and their thing. So, all right guys, drink water, wear a condom, don't be a dickhead. Peace.